What the hell just happened? I don't know what to say, really. That was the messiest voting, the weirdest results I've ever seen, I think. What happened here? What happened here? So that happened. A lot of other things happened. Israel nearly won the whole contest and it looked like they were going to win. So I don't know what would have happened if they did win. Yeah, wow. Estonia came third. Sweden got 100, less than 200 televote points, which left me speechless. I don't know what happened with Sweden. What I'm gonna do is I'm filming this right after the final has just happened. So when I go home, I'm gonna film a proper review video. So I am gonna sit down, look at the scoreboard again, and do a whole video talking about the whole scoreboard, all the results, all the other surprises and shocks that we had, the positive things as well. Yeah, this is just like a little introduction to this video, which will be a lot longer. But yeah, I just thought I'd give my initial reaction, which is, what the hell just happened? Yeah, we've got a lot to talk about, but the sad thing is that the actual show, the final itself, the production of the show was amazing. Like, Switzerland did such a good job at hosting. That was one of the best finals, like, production wise. That was an amazing show. Like, honestly, I loved it. And, a strong final as well, I think, with, good songs. But it's a shame that the results are not good. Like, that was not enjoyable to watch, those televote results. The jury results were very interesting, very completely all over the place. And yeah, I didn't enjoy watching those televote results. There were a lot of things that happened that were not good. Um, some things that were good, we can talk about the positives as well. Um, Congratulations to Austria. Not gonna lie, I didn't expect Austria to win going into this, within the past few days leading up to the final. Austria actually went down in people's estimations quite a lot. And we thought it was over for Austria and that France would overtake them in the jury. But no, in the end, it was Austria, another jury winner, and another song which is very similar to that won the year before, which is why I thought it wouldn't win, because people would think it would be quite similar to The Code. That obviously wasn't a problem. But yeah, so going into this over the past few days, I thought, okay, Austria are not winning anymore. It's France or Sweden. But that didn't happen. And France flopped in the televote as well. That's another shock of the night. And Switzerland getting 0 from the televote. Yeah. The UK. I think this is fine because I'm happy that we did well with the jury. We did really well with the jury, actually. We got 12 points from Italy. The 0 televote points is not a shock, we expected that. But I thought we should do better than Ollie Alexander, but we actually got one below Ollie Alexander. We came like 18th or 19th. So yeah, I would have liked us to get higher than that. but at least we did well with the jury, which is what we expected it to. Brilliant show, great night, a brilliant final, but the results, wow. Yeah, so I will stop recording for tonight, but when I get home, I will continue with the rest of the review of the final. We've got a lot to talk about. Okay, so I've returned home from Liverpool. So now I will carry on talking about the results and looking at the scoreboard more thoroughly, talking about maybe not every country, but most of the results and the most shocking, surprisingly good or bad results that we got. So before I do that, first of all, overall, one of the weird, I say one of the weird, there were quite a lot of weird things about the voting that happened. But one of the weird things about this year is that normally we get countries with 500 or so points at the top. So the winner normally gets like 500 and something, and sometimes second place as well. So that's what we're used to over the past few years. But this year, nobody got any more than 300 from the public. Even the Televote winner didn't get over 300 points. But then last year we had 3 countries having over 300 points from the public. But this year it was all so much lower. So that was strange. But like I said, there were a lot of strange things that happened in the voting. Let's look at the bottom 5. So one of my favourite things, one of my highlights about this year is the fact that countries like Denmark, Iceland, San Marino, Malta and Latvia as well, all qualified. They made it to the final. And that is one of my favourite things about this year, especially about Denmark and Iceland. You know, Denmark haven't qualified since 2019, and that was one of my favourites of the year. So yeah, I'm happy they all qualified, even though a lot of the countries I just mentioned are in the bottom 5. But that's okay, because I think with Denmark, Sisal, I think she said herself in an interview somewhere, or maybe on social media, that her goal was to get to the final, and she didn't care about what happened in the final as long as she qualified, and she got that. So yeah, the 2 points from the public is harsh and very disappointing, but she got to the final, so that's a good thing at least. Iceland, I loved Iceland this year. Vibe, the two of them are just so funny together. They've been so funny on social media. And the song, I've always loved it. It's in my top 10. I think it will stay in my top 10 even after the contest. So yeah, I'm happy for them. Even though they got 0 from the jury, at least they got something from the public, and they're in the final as well. Something I am a bit disappointed about is Luxembourg. So I expected more for Laura. I thought she deserved more, really. I actually thought she could do quite well. I thought the staging was so good. And I know she was second in the running order, but I didn't know if that would matter that much, because now you can vote from the start of the show. So, and Norway were on first, but Kyle actually did quite well with the televote. So I'm not sure if that matters that much, really. But yeah, I just thought that this would do better than that. I thought it could get left-hand side of the board at least, so that's a shame. But I still really like it. Spain, yet again, in the bottom 5. It's really not going well for Spain, is it? I mean, that's the 3rd year in a row now that they've scored quite low, well, very low actually, with the televote. Spain are very similar to the UK, because in 2022 we both had that moment of the UK and Spain both being contenders to win, both being in the top three, and now they've both just gone back downhill again. Especially Spain, actually. Spain are doing a little bit worse than the UK. But yeah, it's just funny how they both had that 1 year where we were both at the top together, and now we've gone back down again. But with this song, I think we did expect it to do not that well. I think some people predicted it would come last. It nearly did come last, bottom three. I mean, I thought it was performed quite well, really. I thought melody was great, but yeah, it just doesn't connect with public or televote. And yet again, Spain are at the bottom. So they're probably thinking, what can we do? Well, there'll be another year of Benidorm Fest, I imagine. And we'll see what happens. But yeah, it's not looking good for Spain at the moment. Let's talk a little bit more about the UK, Remember Monday. So what we expected for the UK this year was a fairly good jury score and nothing from the televote. And that is exactly what we got. That is exactly what we predicted is what happened. 88 points from the jury, which is quite good, really. I mean, I think we did very well with the jury, and we got 12 points from Italy. That was brilliant. I mean, yeah, that was a real moment. I think people in front of their TVs were jumping up and down with that. The people that I were watching with, we were very happy at that. So yeah, the jury score, pretty good. 88 points. That's brilliant. We were actually in the top 10 with the juries, 10th place. So yeah, getting 12 points from Italy and that cute little mouse from San Remo. I think it's from San Remo. Anyway, I can't remember the name of the mouse, but I think it appeared in San Remo. That was a nice moment. And then, of course, you had the televote, which was 0 points, which is not a surprise, really. It is what we expected. I mean, if Ollie Alexander got 0, then I couldn't really imagine this getting much more. At the most, I thought it could get like 5 points or something, single digits, but yeah, it's harsh, of course. I think Remember Monday performed it in the best way that they could. They couldn't do any more. You know, they performed it really well. They did what they had to do. I think they were great representatives for the UK. It's a shame we came 19th, which is one lower than Ollie Alexander. I wasn't expecting like top 10 or anything at all. I've been quite surprised at that, actually. So yeah, I'm not surprised. But I think they did really well. They did the best they could. If we get 0 televote points again next year for the 3rd year in a row, that would be quite embarrassing, actually. Yeah, it's not looking good. And the televote points, the televote score is important. You know, you want to get a good televote score. So we were aiming for the juries this year. You can tell that it was a jury song, and they did respond to it well. But yeah, we need a good televote score again. Not sure if that will happen. We'll see where we go from here. I'd like to mention Malta. So they got 8 televote points, which was seen as a big shock to people. Graham Norton, our commentator, he was astonished. He couldn't believe that. But me, actually, I'm not that shocked at that. And I'll tell you why. So the reason why I'm not that surprised is because I had a feeling this would happen. Because it's the type of song that was very popular, especially with fans, you know, within the bubble of Eurovision. but it doesn't actually translate well in the end. You know, people just don't really get it, and it doesn't turn into points. People seeing it for the first time, they just don't get it, and that is what happened with this. It happens every year with something, really. But yeah, I had a feeling that just because it's been so popular in the run up to the contest within mostly the community, although I know it did go quite viral in the mainstream media as well, in some ways, but it doesn't actually mean that it's going to turn into points. I mean, it didn't get 0 points, but you know, it got less than 10. But yeah, it's just one of those things that you can't just rely on it to actually do well in the end just because it was so popular at first. So yeah, I'm not that shocked at that really when you think about it, but at least she qualified, and I'm glad that she gave us that viral moment. She provided us with the entertainment throughout the whole season, and it was great to follow that journey. So yeah, Miriana is officially an icon. So I'm still looking at the right-hand side of the scoreboard, and I'm looking at Germany, and I want to talk about Germany because, as you know, I absolutely loved Germany's song this year, and it was, going into this, my second favourite. It was my number two of the whole year, and I think it still is, actually. I've always loved this song, and I'm just so glad they've actually done well. And they haven't come last. I was worried they would come last, and it would be like a Norway Wolverham situation, but they haven't. And actually, they did quite well with the televote. They got 74 points. That's really good. I think they got 12 points from one of the juries as well. I can't remember which one, but I'm sure they got at least one set of 12 points. So I'm just glad that people did respond to it and it didn't completely flop and come bottom five. I mean, it's a shame that they didn't do a little bit better than that, though, because Germany came 12th last year, and I thought it was good last year, but I thought, in theory, this should be doing better than that. So I was hoping it would have been a little bit higher, but yeah, I'm happy for Germany that they're showing signs of improvement, especially with a song like this, you know, in German. It was just such a bop. I thought the staging was good as well. You know, it was performed well. One of my favourite German entries in recent years, or maybe even ever, actually. So, yes, I am happy for Germany this year. Well done, Germany. Let's keep it up. A pleasant surprise this year is Latvia. Or haven't they done well? That staging was absolutely amazing. Beautiful song, beautiful staging. I mean, at first, you know, after the national final, when it became Latvia's official entry, I wasn't sure how people would take it, but people have taken to it quite well. Maybe the juries really appreciated the artistic staging visually. They actually got 12 points from the UK jury, which is very random, but good, you know, good for them. I'm happy for them. And yeah, this was one of the best stagings of the year, I would say. It was just so stunning and so visually striking and artistic. Yeah, I loved it, and yeah, I'm really happy for Latvia for qualifying twice in a row, 2 years in a row, when they spent so many years not qualifying at all. So they're keeping up that streak of qualification. Hopefully they can continue with that next year as well. But yeah, that's one of the pleasant surprises of the year. So well done, Latvia, for doing well again. So just outside of the top 10, you've got Finland in 11th place. So I know that people were expecting this well, some people thought this could win or hoped it could win, or top 5. I never saw this as a winner or even top 5, really. I remember saying, I think I said it twice ages ago, right from the start. It's always been very unpredictable how well this will actually do. And I thought it would come anywhere between 7th and 20th. I honestly didn't know. So this seems quite reasonable to me, although I know a lot of people absolutely loved it and thought it could win. But yeah, I never expected that. I think expectations were a little bit too high for that, really. But Erica performed it so well, such a good performer, and such a big, epic moment at the end as well. So it was brilliant. Top 10. I thought it could have got top 10, and that would have been nice to get top 10. But I think it still did well. I think it's still a decent result, but I know that it was expected to be a little bit better. So let's look at the top 10. So first of all, I'd like to talk about Italy and Ukraine together, because I think they've both proven people wrong. So neither Italy or Ukraine were that popular with the fans this year as much as they normally are, especially Italy, I would say. But I think they've proven a lot of us wrong because they did connect with both the jury and the public, and they've both kept holding on to the top 10 placements that they always get. Some people thought that Ukraine wouldn't even qualify for the first time ever. I mean, I did prefer the national final staging to the Eurovision staging, but I still think Bird of Prey is a good song, and I'm happy that they've done well. And Italy as well, like I said, this song wasn't as popular as Italy usually are, but they've still resonated with both jury and public, and there they are in the top 5, 5th place. So every single year since 2016, I think, or maybe even 2015, Italy have been top 10 every single year, and that is absolutely amazing. That is very impressive. I've always said Italy and Ukraine, especially Italy, are my favourite countries in Eurovision. This year, they weren't my favourites really, but I do still like them both, and I'm glad that they've both proved why they are 2 of the best countries in the contest. There they are again, up in the top 10. Very impressive. Greece. Wow, I have to say, this is their best result in a long time, isn't it? Because even in 2022, you had Amanda Tenfjord. I think she came like 7th or 8th, so this is even better than that. Wow, I did not expect that for Greece. It's something I've never really paid that much attention to, maybe because it won the national final really early, like back in December, I think, or January. So maybe I just sort of forgot about it, and I thought it was not a definite qualifier, to be honest, but here they are in the top 10, doing well with both the jury and the public, actually. So yeah, good for them, good for Klavdia. It was a really good performance, really good voice. I'm happy they've done well. I just didn't really expect it to do this well. You've also got Albania in the top 10, 8th place, which is brilliant. Now, similar to Finland, this is something that it's always been one of my favourites of the whole year, and one of my favourite Albanian entries ever. I've loved it right from the start. But a lot of people were saying that they think this could win, or they were hoping it would win. I never thought it would win, to be honest, and I always thought that people needed to lower their expectations with this because they might be disappointed. But top 10 is still brilliant, and I hope that people are not disappointed, because I think that's a brilliant result for them, one of their best ever, really. So yeah, I hope people are not let down by that because they were expecting or hoping for more. Similar to Finland, really. These were two really big fan favourites. And luckily, the general public really liked it as well. And yeah, 8th place is really good and they deserve it. Now, a lot of the shocking televote moments this year came from a lot of the songs that are in the top 10. I don't really know where to start. Shall I start? I'll start with France, I think. I'll come to Switzerland later. Let's start with France. Now, before the final, the day before the final actually, I made a last minute prediction. And I thought, okay, I'm going to say now that France will win. That was what I was thinking going into the final the day before, because I thought France have overtaken Austria and they'll do better than Austria. Well, how wrong was I? But a lot of other people thought this as well, really, you know, in the last sort of final moments that France could take it. I just had this feeling. And, well, they've done well with the jury, which is expected. But that televote result, I can't believe that. 50 points. And they said it so quickly, I didn't have time to realise what she said. She said it so quickly. It just came out 50 points. I thought, wait, what? Are you sure? Not even 150? 50?
50 points!
That is similar to Lazara's televote point in 2023. I never thought that this would get that low. Slimane did way better than that. He got like 200 televote points. And I really thought this would push for the win. I thought this could win the whole thing. But to get that low of a televote score, I don't know why people didn't take to this so much at all. I mean, I didn't think it would be winning the televote or anything, but 50, that is really low, and I really didn't expect that. That is only one of the shocking results that we had that night. I don't know if the problem is that people don't like French ballads, because people liked Slimane and Barbara Pravi, so I don't think that's the problem, really. I really don't know. I just don't know what happened with this, but I was expecting more. And it's not even in the top 5. I thought it would definitely be top 5 at least, but yeah, that was a shock. Not the only shock. So let's move on now to Sweden. Oh no. As you know, it was my personal favourite of the year and the bookies' favourite to win the whole thing for the whole time, really. It was always number one favourite to win. And it's come 4th, which is, when you look back, 4th place is good. But again, the televote score for this, again, I was speechless. I couldn't believe it. I heard the words 100 and I thought, 100? Not even 200? I would never ever have expected this to be getting less than 200 televote points. I think we expected 300 really, but nobody got 300 this year. But to get less than 200 for a song that's been so popular and so hyped up and popular all around Europe, really, probably the most popular song of the year, and for it to do, well, not badly, but compared to what we thought, it is bad, in a way, because we thought it would do way more than that. Yeah, that was shocking to me and to everyone, really. The bookies' favourite, just to not even get 200 televote points. I couldn't believe it, really.
Oh no. 195 points! Oh my god!
I'm not going to Sweden next year.
Only 5 countries left
I mean, I'm glad that they still got top 5. That's good. It could be worse. And they have done well. And I just hope they're not disappointed with it. So looking back, I mean, especially because the Televote winner only got 297. This is actually not that bad in comparison to that, really. I think this year is just so unusual that because of how low everything else was, maybe it's not so bad after all. So yeah, looking back, I'm a bit more positive now, but at the time I was deflated. I was like, what, really? Surely it deserved more than that. But yeah, okay, it's because this year is just so strange and so odd, it's not that bad. And well done on getting top 5, 4th place. Thank you, Kai. Thank you, Sweden, for doing something different and giving us the catchiest song of the whole year. Okay, now, one of the most shocking and undeserved results of the whole night, the whole final, has to be Switzerland doing so well with the jury. Top 3, I think, with the jury, and then getting 0 televote points. That was just dreadful. What an awful result, you know. Nobody expected that either. I think everyone watching was open-mouthed at that. I mean, that's terrible, really. I know that people don't want the host country to win again, but 0 points, really? No way did this deserve 0 points from a televote at all. No way. I would never have expected that. Such a beautiful song, simple. Yeah, the staging was simple, but not simple to be bad or boring. It was stunning. One of my favourite ballads of the whole year. Maybe even one of my new favourite ballads in Eurovision in general. I think we can all agree that that did not deserve 0 from the televote. And the fact that you can do so well with the jury, but the public completely disagree and give it nothing, is quite rare. That doesn't usually happen. I mean, I know it happened with Benjamin Ingrosso when he got 21 televote points. I think it happened with Poland in 2016 as well, but not to that extent where the public score is 0 and the jury score is like top 3. I don't think that has ever happened before to that extreme of a difference.
Have awarded you
I think win again.
0 points.
That's bad. That's really bad.
So that was completely undeserved. The televote voting in general this year was just so weird, all over the place. I mean, the jury results were all over the place as well, you know, very spread out. But the televote, yeah, I don't know what you were thinking this year. Right, well, top 3, let's look at the top 3. Wow, yeah, this is a weird top 3. The fact that Tommy Cash came third place for Tommy Cash, and only 1 point behind Israel as well. That's so random to me. Like, I knew that this would do well because of how popular it's been. It's been all over TikTok. It's gone viral. Tommy Cash is quite well known, and I wonder if the rest of the world, I haven't actually looked at the rest of the world vote yet, but I think that Israel got the 12 from them. But I imagine this probably did quite well with the rest of the world vote as well, because I know that Tommy Cash is quite, well, fairly well known in America, and the song has gone viral on social media. So I expected this to do well, but not that well, not third place overall. I would never have expected that. And it just seems so strange to have this in the top three. I'm not saying it was bad, because I know a lot of people really hate this, can't stand it. You either love it or hate it. I don't mind it. Like, you know, I quite enjoy it, but to have it as third, above Sweden, above France, well, above a lot of songs, yeah, a bit too high, I think. But good for him. So when it was between Austria and Israel, they said that Austria needed at least 100 points, 100 televote points to win. And for a moment, I thought that he might not have enough. He could have got like 90 or 80 or like 95. Luckily, he got quite a lot more than 100, but for a moment, I thought, oh, he might not have that. Maybe Israel have taken it. And if Israel did win, then I don't know how that would have worked, really, for next year and just in general. Yeah, yeah. Like I said earlier on in the video, I know that Austria has always been a favourite to win, and a favourite to win the jury vote, definitely, so that's not a surprise. But in the days and weeks leading up to this, I thought that Austria's chance of winning was fading a little bit, because I wasn't sure how the public would take to it. And I thought that about Nemo as well, but I was wrong. Luckily, the public did like it enough to win, even more than enough to win. But I also thought, I've always thought with this is, speaking of Nemo, I just thought this was too similar as a winner to the code, and I thought that casual viewers would remember the winner from last year and think that this is too similar to that and wouldn't really vote for it that much. And that's partly why I thought it wouldn't win. So the fact that we've got the code and now Wasted Love as winners back to back, one after the other, yeah, it's quite unusual. I didn't expect that to happen, really. So I was starting to, I was starting to think that Austria have lost the chance of winning and that France would be more likely to win than them. But no, I was wrong. In the end, it was enough for Austria, and well done, JJ. Great voice, great staging. Not a personal favourite of mine. I watched it and I thought, okay, it's not really doing that much. It doesn't really feel like a winner to me. It still doesn't really. I watched it back and I thought, yeah, the voice is amazing, but there's still something that's just not quite clicking with me. It is deserved, and I think a lot of people were very relieved that it was the winner and not Israel. I do still like the song though, I do like it. It's very epic, towards the end especially. I was just starting to doubt it a little bit in the days leading up to the final. But I was wrong, and it was Austria all along. And good for them, and well done JJ. JJ seems just like a really fun person, very talented of course, and yeah, well done Austria for getting their, is it third or second? I think it's their third win. So Vienna, here we come. So yes, that was probably the weirdest, most unpredictable results I think we've seen for a long time. And I think we knew they would be unpredictable and there would be some surprises, but not to that extent. But yes, very interesting. like I said, the show itself I thought was amazing, brilliant production. Flag parade was great. I loved Bakaria and Baby Lasagna interval act. That was one of my highlights of the whole night, the whole show actually. Having a stadium, the football stadium next to the arena with, what was it, 30,000, 30 something thousand fans watching. That was really, really cool, really good idea. They've never really done that before. I'm quite surprised, really. You think they would do that more often. Maybe now they will. So yeah, that was a good idea. And yeah, it was still a great show in general. So that was my long review of most of the results off the scoreboard. Let me know your thoughts. What was the most shocking result for you? Was it Switzerland getting 0, France, Sweden, UK getting 0? That's not that shocking to me, unfortunately, but it is still a shame. Yeah, let me know what you agree with, what you don't agree with. My favourite, my positive highlights are Germany doing well, countries that don't usually qualifying. Yeah, you know, there are positives, but then there's some things that you don't really agree with either, like Switzerland getting 0, very harsh. But yeah, so okay, I've talked about the results overall. What I'm going to do now for my next video is update my top 10, because I do think my top 10 will have changed a little bit after the final with live performances, stagings. So I'm going to look at my top 10 again and see if anything's changed and what I need to update. And then I will tell you my updated top 10 after the contest. So thank you very much for watching all of my videos this season. It's been really fun as always. Thank you to the new subscribers as well. And I will be back for more videos like my new top 10 video very soon. So thank you for joining me on this adventure and I will see you again. Bye.